This tutorial will show you a fun trick in Photoshop. How to get one object that's in color and take the rest of the objects, or the rest of the color in the picture out, so that we have black and white except for one little object. So maybe you've seen that before. It's kind of a fun little thing to do and to try out. And it teaches about Photoshop a little bit more and some of the tools. So in order to do that, I've got this picture here. You can download this off of below the video. And once you have it in Photoshop, we've got the toolbar over here, and we're going to select this flower right here. And so if you hold down, click and hold on your tools, you've got a couple different options to select. The magic wand tool, if I select one spot, it selects that color and very similar colors around it. So that's not the best option here. That works well if you've got a solid color. But I'm going to click and hold and get the quick selection tool. I'll do a Control D to deselect. Now this selection tool, if it's got the plus in this circle, I can make this circle bigger or smaller. This is my selection area. If I do, the shortcuts are the brackets on the keyboard. So just to the right of the letter P, the brackets. I can go smaller and bigger with the left one and the right one. So I'll get a medium-sized circle here. If I click on the rows and start dragging, if it's obvious what color it is, Photoshop does a good job of just picking out that color. And I can just keep dragging until it selects the whole thing. It did a pretty good job. There's a couple things down here that it didn't do very well, but I'll show you a little bit later how to fix that. Okay, there's several things that I can do here to take out the color. I'll show you a couple different ways to do it. I'm in Photoshop Creative Cloud, and so I might have some options that you don't, and so maybe if I show a couple different ways, then you can find the way that works best for you. If you come up to the well, we want to select, so we've selected the rows. I want to select everything else because I want everything else I want to take the color out of everything else, and so I'm going to select the inverse. If I come up to the menu, select button, and right here, inverse. It's also got a shortcut, Shift Control I, but it's kind of a long one, so sometimes if it's 3 buttons, I just come up to the menu and select it. So I select the inverse. Now it's selecting everything but the rows. And I can do a couple different things here. From here, I could just go straight to Image and Adjustments and get my black and white and make everything that's selected right now black and white. That's the old way of doing it, and maybe it's called destructive editing, meaning that I can't get it back. So I'm going to show you a newer way of doing it. It's called non-destructive editing, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So if I come up here to my Adjustments panel here, if you don't see it, go up to Window and Adjustments. If it's not there, you might have to do it the old-fashioned way. So in here, I can select this black and white, so just hover over until you find it, black and white. When I click it, it does a couple things. First of all, it turns everything black and white, which is nice, but it also creates a new layer. So in my Layers panel, I've got a new layer. It keeps all the color from the old layer, and I'm just making an adjustment. It's an adjustment layer to the location that I selected and what I want to change to black and white. And so that's why it's non-destructive editing, because the color is always there. It's just not showing. We also call this a mask. So we're masking all this part of it and making it black and white. But since it's just a mask, an adjustment layer, I'm keeping all the color behind it. Okay, so this is kind of fun, this black and white. Now, any colors that were there, I can adjust them for lighting and make those colors really white or really dark. I can just adjust the contrast on them. So do it however you want. I'm just going to keep it about the same. You can also click the eyeball here and you can see what it looked like before and after. Okay, once you get it to how you would like, click the arrows there to get rid of that panel. Now, that's the basics of it right there. That's the simplest form. Now, if I have a couple parts where I need adjusting, let me show you how to do that. And this is useful not only for the black and white, this is for selecting anything. So, this mask layer. If I come down here, zoom in, hold down Alt on the keyboard and zoom with the scroll wheel, and then you can hold down spacebar and click and drag to get to the right spot. Now, with an adjustment layer, I'm not going to use the selection tool anymore. I'm going to use the brush. So come over and select the brush, And right down here you should have black and white on these two squares. If not, click it, drag down to the black on one, click the other, and drag up to the corner white. And I can switch back and forth between these two colors with this right here, or the X key on the keyboard, which is convenient. Okay, if I get the white on top, if I have white and I have the brush selected, again my brackets next to the P, letter P on the keyboard will go bigger and smaller. And so now if I have the white color and the brush, I can just brush the color away that I don't need. And that's really nice. It gets rid of the mask. And if I mess up, oops, and then I realize it later on, if I realize it right away, I can just do the undo. But if I realize it later on and I have that spot that I want back, I can just hit X on the keyboard or click that button right there, and it will switch to black, and black will put the mask back on. So as many times as you want to switch and fix things, it will allow you to do that. That's the beauty of the mask. If I want a little bit more color there, and you can just refine those edges however you want by adding to the mask or taking away from the mask. It's really nice that way. And you fine-tune it to how you want it, and that's how you do it. On the mask, if I want to see the color again, I can just click the eyeball on that layer and it gives me all the color again. If I want, I can even delete that layer and then I have all my color back. That's why it's non-destructive editing. So now you can find a picture of your own and try it out. You can try it with this picture for practice or do your own and have fun with it.